Hey guys, in this video, we're going to go through the process. This is video number 2. We're going to go through the process of actually submitting your PCOS application as an initial enrollment or reassignment for a therapist, reassigning benefits to your business. So in the last video, and if you didn't see it, I'll put it up here in the card. The last video showed you how to request to be a surrogate through the Medicare I&A system, so that if you have a therapist, you want to request to become a surrogate for that therapist so you can do their paperwork. That video is going to show you how to do that. This video is going to show you the actual application process. So let me show you. Said show you about 10 times. Okay, so we're in the PCOS website. We're going to go ahead and log in. And what we're going to do is we're going to come over to My Associates. This is where once you've received the connection so that you can be the surrogate for the employee, contract, or W-2, you're going to come over. You're going to see them listed under individuals. So you'll click on the employee's information. You're going to come in here, and what you're doing is you're submitting for an individual provider. And what you're going to do is you're going to submit a group member only. This is when you're reassigning their benefits to your business. Now, they'll have other reassignments, and that's totally fine. This is specifically for them reassigning to you. This will not interfere with other reassignments they already have in place or future reassignments they're going to initiate. This will be your employee's information, contractor or W-2 employee. You'll choose your state. So in this case, I'm just going to choose Georgia. It's going to be for Part B. And what we are doing is we're either physical therapist in private practice, occupational therapist in private practice, or qualified speech language pathologist. So choose what the employee is right here. And then entity receiving benefits enrollment status. So to avoid delays in the processing this application, please ensure an enrollment application for the entity receiving the benefits has been submitted or will be submitted. The entity receiving benefits must also be enrolled in the Medicare program. So I'm assuming you are already enrolled, your business is already enrolled. Would you like to continue? Yes. And then this is just confirming that the application we're submitting is for a physical therapist. If it's an OT, it'd be for occupational therapist or speech therapist. So let's start the application. And it's basically the same general structure that you already completed for yourself. You're completing for the individual. So if I'm going to break this up into sections, but basically, so if I go to personal identifying information, you can see here, this is where we're going to add the information. It will pull through the individual's information already. You may add credentials. You don't have to, it's not required for PT, OT, SLP, but you may. Gender is a required field. And then are you accepting new beneficiaries? Yes. When you click next, it'll take you to the next section. So personal information, does the applicant have any other name to supply? Former name, maiden name. Generally, it's going to be a no. Medical school, look for the school from the list. If it's not on there, you can say other. And then graduation year. And then it's pretty much always a proprietary business. This would be your normal outpatient clinic. I guess some might work for a nonprofit organization. I've never met anybody who's a disregarded entity. So for all intents and purposes, most of you running a private business for profit are proprietary. And then it just confirms the information you've entered. And now we've moved to the next section, practitioner specialty. So I'm going to go back a second and just kind of show you. So this is where it took us, practitioner specialty. Let's go back into the screen we were just looking at. You can see here it says physical therapist, not completed. It's optional when you're reassigning benefits, but let's jump into here. And this is where all of the applicants' PTOT services only rendered in the patient's home. So this is what you're gonna submit when you're a mobile operation only. You don't have a brick and mortar clinic. Does the applicant maintain a private office space? No. This isn't, your storage. This isn't home base of operations, none of that. This is a clinic. Think of private office space as a clinic. Does the applicant own, lease, or rent his or her office space? Well, you don't maintain office space. So again, the answer is no. Is the private office space used exclusively for the applicant's private practice? Again, if you're mobile, you don't do any of this stuff. Does the applicant furnish outside of his office or in the patient's home? No. If you're a mobile clinician, no brick and mortar clinic, the first answer is yes. The remaining questions are no. If you have a brick and mortar space, if you treat patients in the home and in your office space, so does the applicant furnish PT services outside of, this is really important, outside of his or her office space and or the patient's home? No, you never do. Even if you have a brick and mortar clinic, it's either in the clinic or in the home. So that's a no. Does this private office space, is it used exclusively for the applicant's private practice? If you're renting space and they're going to do a site visit, the answer is yes. They're going to do a site visit if you're a PT. Does the applicant own, lease, or whatever his space? Yes. Does the applicant maintain? Yes. Are the applicant's services only rendered in the home? No. So guys, I know this is a silly thing to review so many times, but if you have a physical location, a brick and mortar clinic where you're seeing patients in your clinic or in the patient's home, this is what the answer key looks like. No, yes, 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 no. If you are mobile only, not treating patients in a facility, this is what the answer key will look like. Yes, no, 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 no. Okay. Let's move on. I know I've beat that into the ground. Next topic. So reassignment of benefits. And again, if I go back to the initial enrollment, just so you guys can kind of keep referencing where this is going. So here's the reassignment. This is the main part of this application. Add information. Will the applicant's benefits be reassigned to an individual or an organization? So some of you who did not create a separate organization, you did not create a separate business or anything like that, the person who's working under you is reassigning the benefits to you individually. Since most of you have an organization, we're going to go with an organization. So the effective date of the information, this is typically done today, but if the person has already seen the Medicare beneficiary, remember, you can go back 30 days from the effective date. This might be dated a little bit back from today, but this is where you're going to want the effective date. Obviously, it needs to be before the first Medicare beneficiary has been treated, the legal name of the business, the tax ID number of the business, and the business NPI. This is for the reassignment. Let me see if I can just put something in here, because obviously I'm not actually reassigning. ABC, ABS physical therapy, 11-. Okay, see, it's gonna check. I think it's gonna check the MPI. Let's see. So MPI lookup. Let me see if I can just find a random MPI. Actually, you know what? See if I can find my MPI. Okay, here. So this is my business MPI. Let's see if it cross-references against the tax ID. Yeah, cross-reference against the tax ID. So I'm not going to be able to finish this screen, but that's okay. I'm going to cancel it, and we're just going to keep going. So you would put in the actual information for the business. Then obviously the mailing address. This is going to be your normal correspondence address. Cannot be the address of a billing agency, management service, organization, chain. Wait, the correspondence address cannot be the address of a billing agency, management, chain home office, or the provider's representative. It can, however, be a P.O. box in the case of an individual practitioner, the person's home address. So you may use the home address as the mailing address in this scenario. Once you finish that, licensure, certification. So in this section, this is where you're going to say, does the applicant have a state license? Yes. You're going to add the information. You're going to come in here, active license information. This is for PTOT SLP. You're going to put in the license number, the state it was issued, the effective date, and the expiration renewal date of the license. Okay. That's going to take care of that section. Let's go back to the enrollment. You'll have a check mark. Final or adverse legal action. I can't imagine anybody is going to say yes. Obviously, if there is a scenario, you would say yes and fill out the information. For most of you, it's going to be no. You can hit next topic. Ownership interest. So let me see here, where are we? Basically, anybody who has 5% direct ownership or more, this is an individual, who's applying. They're not going to have ownership. They're an employee or a contractor. So you could say no. Does the applicant have any organizations having ownership or interest, managing, control to report? For the vast majority of you, it's going to be no. One more time, confirming the contact information. And at this point, you would effectively be done. Now, this is where you're going to look at, do you want to upload one or more of the following documents? There really isn't much of anything to upload. So, this was the stuff that you had to do initially. This individual is not going to need any of these documents. So at this point, assuming you already have your organization with a PTAN, with an MPI, everything that's required, there's nothing left for you to upload. So you can just go ahead, return to topics. All of these should be checked, and then you can begin your submission. I cannot do it because I haven't been able to, finish this with fake information, but this was the reassignment process. This is what you need to do to reassign benefits from the individual to your group, your organization, or yourself as an individual. Guys, if you have questions on this, let me know. It's pretty basic. The main thing to remember is you're going to choose group member only. Okay, that will not interfere with any of their other reassignments. Group member only. Okay, guys, let me know how else I can help. This is it. I'll catch you on the next video.